Was actually filming a video today on share classes. And again, if this is the first time you actually see me, I'm Will from HPT Group. And something that's overlooked a lot when we set up companies for clients is share classes and why they matter. So it's going to be a basic overview of what is a share class, why they matter, and how you can obviously set up a business properly, if that makes sense. So a share class is basically a category of shares. You can have multiple of them, which is also fantastic as well. I've going to learn this the hard way in business because you simply just set up a company, you issue 1,000 shares, you give some to some business partners, you do this. Different investors and stakeholders can actually hold different share classes. Some can have voting rights, some cannot, okay? Now, this is actually designed to reflect their role, the risk appetite. And most companies with a single type of ordinary share classes then introduce typical shares, e.g. dilute their current shares, introduce new shares to then raise capital, onboard employees, have growth structures, or simply just restructure their business, right? The core reasons for this, as you can see here, is control allocation, investor protections, employee incentives, dividend flexibilities, and exit mechanics actually drag along, those basically veto rights, redemption rights, X, Y, Z, okay? So let's just actually scroll down to this table here. So this table is actually quite important here. And typically we see a few types here. This is for ordinary or common when you simply own an early founder of a business, one vote per share. Again, it's very simple. It's just standard and default. Okay. We then have obviously preferred share classes such as Series A shares, Series B shares. Again, this is more for, VCs and private equity investors have a different share class. So they don't necessarily have voting rights, for example. They might have specific rules. You can obviously customize them across the board. The other ones are alphabet shares, which is very ordinary, and that's for family members and co-founders, okay? And again, the voting rights can vary by class, which is very nice. And again, you can see the benefits of actually doing this. People just set up a business. As I previously said, we've set up hundreds and hundreds of companies for clients around the world, doing substance for them. If this is your first time even see me, that's what we do for clients at HPT Group. Again, tax residencies, private banking, fintech solutions, iGaming solutions, or simply company formations, or some trust advisory of where you should be putting your offshore trust, where your holding company should be, and where your business should be, and structuring that in a manner that's obviously very beneficial to the entrepreneur, whether it's tax, whether it's asset protection, or simply protection within your own business. For example, today is share classes, okay? The other one is growth and hurdle shares. So you might have a specific share class that goes to your employees or your management of some employees, some higher executive roles, where you want to incentivize them, where if they hit co-opted targets, they then get shares and obviously make them pay dividends. When you exit, they exit as well, X, Y, Z. Voting rights are usually very limited here. I've never really seen any voting rights with these ones here because essentially they're given for growth, and that's really, really nice. So when the business exits, they obviously get paid their respectable amount as well for the hard work that they have been done when working for you. I use this within my own companies. My admin person who does most of the work behind the scenes in terms of not consulting, but actually the ongoing work, the ongoing filings, keeping up to date with over 300 companies around the world. You have to give them some incentive. You simply can't just pay them £3,000 a month. They need to, they're going to get burnt out. If not, as I've also learned from previous partners, which I don't really want to go into in this video. And again, there's then a non-voting ordinary shares as well, which basically is great for passive investors and angels. I have this with my fintech. I'm going to make a video actually on my complete overseas structures, all my businesses, how I've structured it and why I've gone and done that in another video. I'm going to touch base on this. It is on my to-do list. Whether I can find time to do that today will be not. I'm just going to record a video on private banking. Again, these videos don't take too long to produce, but I do need to dedicate some time, find a quiet corner where I am and record these videos. But again, I've actually got no voting shares for the fintech, as I raised about $500,000 for that fintech right there. And somebody owns 10%, the other person owns 20%. Okay. So what is key here is getting the share class structured right, to avoid costs, avoid legal work, And again, the right structure depends on your jurisdiction, the investor mix, your exit horizon, your current tax position. Poorly structured shares can actually block funding rounds. They can create unexpected tax bills. They can also mess with your exit as well. And of course, we all build businesses to exit. Not when you first create it, but obviously when you get to a point where you're doing serious revenue per, every single year, it's pretty much passive and automated. You do come to a position where you do question, okay, if a PE firm did approach me, would I be exiting this business? And if so, what is my business worth? And obviously we always track our business valuation on a weekly basis. And we know the next targets then obviously equal this valuation, or that's obviously expected. It's a seller's buyer's market. It's really what people are willing to pay for a business. It could be higher in your valuation. There's different types of valuations as well. But my point is here, guys, is to really understand share classes. You can see this document here. You can research it yourself on AI. And what share class is right for you when setting up a business may be different to another business, and it again goes by industry, goes by business model. And sometimes when you set up a business, you actually, when you've been running a business for over 2 to 3 years, it's in a completely different position and you had completely different mental mindset than you were when you first set up that business. Okay. So very important to get share classes right when you set up the business. And again, that's what we do help clients do. You can obviously become a client by clicking the link below, by apply, but just thought I'd make this video a bit of a different topic, but really useful information to definitely keep aware about when setting up a business, especially online. Don't just simply do an online company formation. Think how that business is set up, and obviously shares are the foundation of that. Other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Cheerio. Bye-bye.